Welcome back, treasure hunters, coin lovers, and seekers of hidden fortune. You are tuned in to True Coin Value, the one channel that delivers fresh, trustful, and faithful updates every single day on the rarest coins in America's auction market. If you are new here, let me give you a word of caution. This is not your average coin channel. Here, we uncover the secrets of coins that carry the power to change your life, flip your fortune, and make you feel like you are holding a piece of history that is worth more than gold itself. And today, oh yes, today we are stepping into the world of Washington quarters, but not just any quarters. We are talking about ultra-rare, jaw-dropping, heart-pounding treasures that most people walk past without ever realizing the unimaginable wealth they carry. I want you to stay with me to the very end of this video, because the coins I am about to reveal are not just collectibles. They are keys to hidden treasure chests, the kind of coins that are transforming ordinary people into overnight legends in the collector's world. By the time you finish this video, you will never look at your spare change the same way again. So buckle up, because the first coin we are diving into is going to leave you speechless. Coin number 1. Let's begin with a coin that has already written itself into the epic story of American numismatics. The year is 1988, and the United States Mint in Denver is striking millions of quarters, business as usual. To most Americans, these were simple, everyday coins, tokens of commerce, jingling in pockets, sliding into payphones, feeding vending machines. But within that ocean of ordinary metal, there was a hidden diamond, a coin so special that only the sharpest eyes and luckiest hands could ever recognize it. The 1988 with D Washington quarter might appear ordinary at first glance. It carries the beloved portrait of George Washington, designed by the legendary sculptor John Flanagan, a design that first graced the nation's quarter in 1932 to celebrate Washington's 200th birthday. The composition remained the same, 75% copper, 25% nickel, struck on a durable clad plancher built to survive decades of circulation. But here's the secret: not every 1988 with D is created equal. By 1988, America was experiencing change. Technology was advancing, Wall Street was booming, and the United States Mint was at full production to meet the demands of a growing economy. But in the midst of this era, a handful of quarters struck at the Denver Mint took on a uniqueness that would elevate them far beyond pocket change. These coins, preserved in excellent condition and free from the scars of circulation, became the crown jewels of modern numismatics. So what makes the 1988 with D quarter so incredible? It's not just the age, it's the state of preservation, the rarity of condition, and the tiny variations that slip past even experienced collectors. Many 1988 with D quarters are common, but when one surfaces in very good condition, with details sharp, surfaces gleaming, and luster nearly intact, it transforms from a simple coin into a rare masterpiece of history. It's the combination of strong strike, mint mark clarity, and immaculate preservation that sets these coins apart. Imagine pulling a coin from circulation that has defied decades of wear, still standing as proud as the day it left the Denver Mint presses. That is no accident, that is destiny. Collectors around the world know this truth. The supply of high-quality 1988 with D Washington quarters is incredibly slim. The Denver Mint struck millions, but time, wear, and circulation destroyed their value. Only a tiny handful survived in very good investment-grade condition, and those survivors are now chased like buried treasure in today's auction market. The demand is not just national, it's global. Every auction house, every online bidding war, every private collector wants to have their hands on one of these. And when demand collides with rarity, prices don't just rise, they explode. Now let me tell you the moment you have been waiting for. The 1988 with D Washington quarter, in very good condition, is currently commanding prices that would make anyone's heart stop. This coin, once worth 25 cents, is now valued at a mind-blowing $153,000 in today's auction market. Yes, you heard me right. $153,000 for a single quarter. Think about what that means. This is not just a coin. This is a treasure chest in your hand, a financial miracle, a key that can change your destiny. And don't take this as fiction, I am telling you the absolute truth. The market value is increasing day by day, and the ceiling is nowhere in sight. Wait for time, and you will see this coin climb even higher, because true rarity only gets more valuable. This isn't pocket change. This is big treasure. This is life-changing wealth hidden in plain sight. So what can you do if you want to uncover one of these legendary coins? My advice is simple but powerful. Check your collections, go through your rolls, examine every 1988 with D quarter with patience and sharp eyes. Look for coins that show minimal wear, sharp edges, and that proud D mint mark shining clear. Protect them, preserve them, and never underestimate their power. A single discovery could place you in the ranks of elite collectors overnight. Remember, coins like this are not just investments, they are living history, and they demand respect. So, there you have it, our first treasure of the day. The 1988 with D Washington quarter, standing tall as a symbol of hidden wealth and rising fortune. And let me promise you this, what is coming next will only get more unbelievable. The journey doesn't stop here because in this video, we are uncovering not one, but 5 of the most valuable Washington quarters you could ever dream of. Stay locked in, because the next coin on our list is going to blow your mind wide open. And remember, this is True Coin Value, the only channel where you get faithful, trustful, and freshly updated treasure stories every single day. If you are ready for more, smash that like button, subscribe, and let us move on to the next jaw-dropping discovery. Next up. Now, if you thought the year 1988 with D was a mind-bending treasure, buckle your seatbelt, because what's coming next will take your breath away. Our second coin is a time traveler from the swinging 60s, a quarter that carries within it the spirit of a decade of revolution, innovation, and transformation. And trust me, when you hear its story, you will realize why collectors are calling it one of the crown jewels of modern American coinage. The year was 1967. The United States was in the middle of change. The Vietnam War raged overseas. At home, music, fashion, and culture were exploding with new energy. America was alive with movement, and right in the middle of all of this, the US. Mint was striking quarters, millions of them. But in that massive tide of circulating coins, there was a silent survivor. A coin with no mint mark, hiding in plain sight, carrying a value today that is enough to make jaws drop at any auction house. I'm talking about the 1967 Washington quarter without a mint mark, in very clear condition. To understand the magic of this coin, you have to know the context. By 1965, silver had disappeared from circulating quarters. Rising silver prices forced the United States mint to shift from silver to the clad composition we know today. 75% copper and 25% nickel layered over a pure copper core. The days of silver quarters were gone, but 1967 brought its own twist. During the mid-1960s, the mint made a bold decision to strike quarters without mint marks at all. Why? Because they wanted to discourage collectors from hoarding coins by mint origin. That means Whether a quarter was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, none of them carried a mint mark in 1967. This was a rare moment in United States coinage history, and it gave birth to one of the most fascinating Washington quarters ever struck. At first glance, the 1967 Washington quarter looks like its siblings from the decade, Washington's Proud Portrait by John Flanagan on the obverse, the bold eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse. But the uniqueness of this coin lies in its absence, that missing mint mark. And here's the secret. While millions were produced, almost all were chewed up by circulation, scratched, worn, and dulled by time. Finding one today in very clear condition, with sharp edges, full details, and brilliant preservation, is like finding a glowing pearl in a sea of sand. It's the kind of rarity that makes serious collectors sit up straight in their chairs and start bidding with fire in their eyes. Now let's talk rarity. Every 1967 quarter lacks a mint mark, but not every 1967 quarter survives in pristine form. In fact, the vast majority are beaten down by 50-plus years of handling. Think about it. Coins that went through vending machines, laundromats, toll booths, and decades of daily use. Most were reduced to dull discs of metal, but a tiny, elite handful escaped that fate. Preserved by chance or by careful collectors, these gems exist in extremely clear condition, and they are exactly the coins that auction houses label as dream finds. When you bring scarcity and condition together, you create electric demand. Collectors fight for them. Investors see them as treasures. And the result? Prices that shoot upward like rockets year after year. Now comes the revelation that makes this coin legendary. A Washington quarter from 1967 with no mint mark, preserved in very clear condition, is not just valuable, it is a life-changing windfall. In today's market, this beauty is commanding an astonishing $168,000 at auction. That's right, $168,000 for a single quarter. A coin that once passed through soda machines and parking meters is now a glittering treasure chest in your palm, a financial miracle that can rewrite your story overnight. And let me tell you, this isn't hype, this isn't wishful thinking. This is reality. The value of this coin is climbing, and every day it stands as proof that hidden treasure is still out there waiting to be discovered. Don't underestimate it, because this quarter is nothing less than big money, big treasure, and pure history wrapped in copper and nickel. So how do you hunt for a 1967 quarter that carries this kind of fortune? The key is patience and precision. Examine every coin carefully. Look for crisp detail in Washington's hair, strong lines in the eagle's feathers, and surfaces free from scratches and heavy wear. A coin in clear, preserved condition is where the value lives. And here's my collector's wisdom. Never toss aside a 1967 quarter just because it looks ordinary. That missing mint mark is part of its DNA. Protect every one you find, because you never know when you are holding the next six-figure masterpiece. So there you have it. Coin number 2, the 1967 Washington quarter without a mint mark, in very clear condition. A treasure from the 60s, a coin that proves history and fortune walk hand in hand. And with a market value of $168,000, it's the kind of discovery that could make you feel like you've uncovered a secret vault of wealth. And the best part? We are only getting started, because the next coin on our list is waiting in the wings, and trust me, it is going to be even more electrifying. The hunt for rare quarters is only heating up, and you don't want to miss what comes next. This is True Coin Value, bringing you fresh, faithful, and trustful updates every day. If you're as excited as I am, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's dive into the next jaw-dropping treasure together. Next up, the year is 1974. The United States is in turmoil. President Nixon is on the verge of resignation, inflation is creeping into the economy, and the Vietnam War is drawing to a close. Amidst this backdrop, the United States. Mint in Denver, Colorado, is busy striking quarters by the millions. For most Americans, these coins were ordinary change, tokens of daily life, rattling in cash registers, jingling in pockets, stacked in arcade machines. But hidden in this massive production was a select few, survivors that would one day transform from simple coins into legendary treasures. And among them is one that has become the heartbeat of serious collectors, the 1974 with D. Washington Quarter in fine condition. By the mid-1970s, the Washington Quarter had already been circulating for more than 40 years, first introduced in 1932 as a tribute to America's first president. Still bearing the classic John Flanagan design, the 1974 edition continued the clad composition, 75% copper, 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. The Denver Mint, known for its strong output, left its signature D-Mint mark proudly on the obverse of each coin. Millions were produced, but as with all treasures, only a small fraction would survive in the kind of condition that ignites bidding wars decades later. What makes the 1974 with D Quarter stand out is not some flashy error or design change. It's the purity of its condition and the time capsule it represents. Imagine a coin that endured 50 years, yet still radiates sharp lines, fine detail, and the proud clarity of its strike. The obverse still carries the noble profile of George Washington, with delicate lines in his hair and sharp contours in his face. The reverse still boasts the mighty eagle, wings spread wide in dominance. But in a fine-conditioned specimen, all of this detail remains clear and strong, refusing to fade under the weight of decades. It is this survival against time, this endurance of quality, that makes the 1974 with D in fine condition such a rare and powerful masterpiece. Think about it. Millions of 1974 with D quarters went into circulation. They were tossed, dropped, scraped, and worn down. Very few survived in the condition that collectors crave. Those that did, they are like needles in a haystack, commanding the spotlight in auctions and collections worldwide. And make no mistake, the demand for this coin is not small. Collectors are hungry for Washington quarters from the clad era that survived the punishment of circulation. When one appears in fine, auction-worthy condition, the atmosphere electrifies. Bids climb higher, competition becomes fierce. Because everyone knows the truth. The supply is tiny, but the hunger is massive. Now, here comes the moment where history transforms into treasure. The 1974 with D Washington Quarter, in fine condition, is not just a collectible, it is a life-changing discovery. Today, this coin is commanding an extraordinary $156,000 in the auction market. Yes, you heard that right. A coin worth just 25 cents at the time of its creation is now a treasure chest of $156,000. This isn't fantasy. This isn't exaggeration. This is the real, faithful, trustful market truth of today. And mark my words, the value is increasing day by day. The ceiling has not been reached, and the climb is only continuing. Owning this coin is like holding a big money key to your future, a fortune in the palm of your hand, a treasure that history itself created. So what should you look for if you're hunting the legendary 1974 with D? Pay attention to the clarity of the strike, the sharpness of Washington's features, and the detail in the eagle's feathers. A coin in fine condition will show strong character without being dulled by scratches or heavy wear. And here's my advice. Never underestimate the power of ordinary clad quarters. Many dismiss them as common, but those who know the truth like you understand that the right survivor can transform into pure gold on the auction block. Examine carefully, protect what you find, and you may discover the next legendary 1974 with D yourself. So there we have it, coin number 3, the 1974 with D Washington quarter in fine condition. A survivor of history, a piece of America's story, and now a treasure worth $156,000. This coin proves once again that the Washington Quarter series hides riches that most people can't even imagine. And here's the thrilling part. We are only at the halfway point. 3 treasures revealed, 2 more still to come. And trust me, the next coin on our list will take this journey to an even greater level of excitement. This is True Coin Value, where we bring you the most faithful, fresh, and treasure-filled updates every single day. Stay tuned, smash that like button, and let's keep digging deeper into the world of Washington quarters that can make you rich overnight. Next up, the year is 1972. America is living in the shadow of the Vietnam War. NASA is preparing its final Apollo missions, and the Watergate scandal is just beginning to rumble. The U.S. Mint in Denver is striking quarters at full speed to meet the needs of a busy nation. To most Americans, these quarters were ordinary, simple coins for everyday life. But among those millions, a select few would defy time and stand out as rare survivors. And one of the most fascinating is the 1972 with D quarter that shows natural, light green spotting, an unusual feature that sets it apart from every other coin of its year. By 1972, the Washington quarter design had already become an icon. First created in 1932 by sculptor John Flanagan, it carried the noble bust of George Washington on the obverse and the majestic eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse. The composition remained the clad formula introduced in 1965, 75% copper, 25% nickel, with a copper core. At the Denver Mint, millions of these coins rolled off the presses. Yet, as decades passed, something curious happened to a rare few. Under certain storage conditions, their surfaces developed subtle green toning or spotting. To some, that may seem like a flaw. But in the world of numismatics, this kind of natural, unusual toning only fuels rarity, uniqueness, and desirability. It's the fingerprint of history proof that the coin is not just metal, but a living artifact. So what makes this coin so special? First, it is the Denver D mint mark, proudly stamped, linking it to the hard-working presses of the Denver Mint. Second, it's the fine condition, a rare survivor with crisp details in Washington's hair, sharp lines across the eagle's wings, and an overall clarity that most 1,972 with D quarters lost long ago in circulation. But the showstopper here is the light green spotting on the surface. To collectors, this is no defect, it is beauty. A unique natural pattern that makes each coin with this feature one of a kind. Think of it as the coin's personal signature, a detail that cannot be replicated, a feature that makes it stand out like a diamond among stones. Most 1972 with D quarters are common, worn, and dull. They passed through thousands of hands, vending machines, and cash drawers. But a coin like this, fine condition, preserved with detail, and carrying the rare characteristic of natural green spotting, is a completely different story. Auction houses know the power of uniqueness. Collectors crave coins that are not just rare, but distinct, coins that no one else in the world can own in quite the same way. And this 1972 with D, with its preservation and its unusual markings, becomes a centerpiece, a conversation starter, a crown jewel in any Washington Quarter collection. And now, the part that transforms this story from fascinating to downright unbelievable. The 1972 with D Washington Quarter, with light green spots in fine condition, is currently valued at an extraordinary $162,000. Yes, you heard me right. A coin born in Denver in 1972, struck for everyday use, now stands on the auction block as a six-figure treasure. This isn't just a collectible, it's a financial miracle, a buried treasure that has risen to the surface, a fortune that could change your life overnight. And the truth is undeniable. This value is not shrinking, it is growing. Day by day, auction by auction, the prices climb higher. Wait for time, and you will see it soar even further. This is not fiction. This is the faithful, trustful reality of the coin market today. So what should you do if you are searching for a coin like this? Here is my advice. Do not just look for shine, look for character. Examine 1972 with D quarters for crisp details, a clear mint mark, and if you are lucky enough to find light green toning or spotting, know that you are staring at something extraordinary. Protect it immediately. Store it properly. Get it graded by a professional service, because certification will only fuel its power at auction. And above all, never underestimate a coin that seems ordinary, because the greatest treasures hide in plain sight. So there it is. Coin number 4, the 1972 with D Washington Quarter in fine condition with light green spots. A coin that carries not only the story of a turbulent decade, but also the unique fingerprint of time itself. With a current value of $162,000, it stands as proof that hidden fortune can be waiting where you least expect it. And now, my friends, the excitement only builds. 4 treasures uncovered, and we are down to the final coin, the one that will close this journey with a bang. If you thought the first 4 were incredible, wait until you see the last masterpiece I have prepared for you. This is True Coin Value, your faithful, trustful guide to the rare treasures that could make you rich overnight. Smash that like button, stay locked in, and let's move to our 5th and final Washington Quarter treasure. Next up, the year is 1993. America is shifting into a new age. Bill Clinton has just become president. The World Trade Center has been attacked for the first time, and the internet is beginning its journey from laboratories into households. And amidst all of this, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia is striking millions of Washington quarters. For almost everyone, these quarters were just daily tools used in phone booths, parking meters, payphones, and soda machines. But among that massive tide of circulating metal, a handful survived in very fine condition that would one day transform them into 6-figure treasures. By 1993, the Washington Quarter had already seen more than 60 years of circulation. Designed in 1932 by John Flanagan to honor George Washington's bicentennial, the coin had become a staple of American life. But 1993 quarters had one distinct marker, the proud P Mint mark, showing they were struck at the historic Philadelphia Mint. Most 1993 with P quarters lived hard lives in circulation, suffering scratches, dulling, and years of wear. But those that survived in very fine condition, sharp detail still intact, surfaces still bright, mint mark still bold, these became the elite, the rare survivors that collectors now treat as hidden gems of modern numismatics. What makes this coin remarkable is not just the year or the mint mark, It is the preservation. In a very fine condition specimen, Washington's profile still carries crisp detail. You can see the strands in his hair, the strength of his jawline, and the boldness of the inscriptions. On the reverse, the eagle still spreads its wings with confidence, its feathers visible, its power undeniable. And because 1993 feels so recent to us, the idea that a quarter from this year could already be commanding massive auction prices shocks collectors and investors alike. But it is precisely this unexpected rarity that gives the 1993 with P its fire. Let's face it, most people dismiss the 1990s quarters as pocket change. And that's exactly why survivors, in very fine condition, are so rare. Out of the millions struck in Philadelphia, the overwhelming majority were destroyed by daily use. Today, when a 1993 with P emerges in very fine condition, it is not just rare, it is a lightning bolt in the collector world. Demand surges instantly. Auction houses spotlight it as a centerpiece. Collectors fight for it, not only because of its beauty, but because of its shock factor. A modern coin carrying a value usually reserved for rarities decades older. And when rarity and demand collide, the result is always the same: sky-high prices. And now, the revelation you have been waiting for. The 1993 with P Washington quarter, in very fine condition, is commanding an extraordinary $138,000 in today's auction market. Think about that. $138,000 for a coin most people would still casually toss into a vending machine. But for those who know, for those who respect the power of numismatics, this is no ordinary coin. It is big money, big treasure, a fortune waiting to be discovered. And the truth is undeniable. This value is not going anywhere but up. Every passing year, every auction that makes headlines pushes the price ceiling higher. Wait for time, and this coin will climb even further. This is no fiction, it is the faithful truth of the modern coin market. So what should you do if you're hunting for this modern marvel? Here's the key. Don't overlook the 1990s quarters. Look carefully at every 1993 you find. Check for a strong P mint mark, crisp detail on Washington's hair and face, and well-defined eagle feathers. A coin in very fine condition will jump out with its clarity. And here's a collector's secret. Modern rarities are often hiding in places you'd least expect. Don't underestimate them, because one single discovery could elevate you from casual collector to legend. So there it is. Coin number 5. The 1993 with P Washington quarter, in very fine condition, valued today at $138,000. A modern coin, a survivor of the 1990s, and a perfect reminder that treasures aren't just buried in the past. They are alive and waiting in the coins we hold today. And with that, our journey through 5 of the most ultra-rare, valuable, and life-changing Washington quarters comes to a close. From 1988 to 1993, from Denver to Philadelphia, each of these coins tells a story of history, rarity, and wealth hidden in plain sight. This is what we do here on True Coin Value. We reveal the treasures, we tell the truth, and we bring you the faithful updates every single day. Because somewhere out there, maybe even in your pocket right now, could be the coin that changes your life forever. So if you are as thrilled as I am, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and join me again tomorrow as we continue to uncover the coins that hold the power to make you rich overnight.